Hey, somebody's calling us. Let's see who it is. Getting a call, a live call. Yes, Papa Soob, is that you?
We got audio.
Yeah, I got audio. There's a little button on your phone there you could press for. There's a camera button. If you touch that, you'll be live. By the way, we are live right now. By the way, on the Mike and Athena show, and calling in now is Papa Soob, the author. We're going to see what we're going to talk about. He is. Do you have to press our camera button, Michael?
No, I think so. Push the camera because I got.
Guys,
there we go.
I see you, Papa Soob.
Hey, buddy, hold on a minute. I got the Papa Soup hat on.
You get the whole costume on. This is a miraculous miracle of the coronavirus. Papa Soob is doing his first Facebook video call. Welcome.
No, it's fantastic.
Can you turn him down a little in the room for me? Hey, Papa Soob, what are we talking about today? A book?
We can talk about my book, A Heartbeat Away. That's the last thing that came out. And how people can get that and what it's all about.
Yeah, A Heartbeat Away. That sounds like what I am right now. A heartbeat away from the having a foot in the grave. I've turned very old since you've last seen me.
Yeah, I can see that beard.
Yeah, oh yeah, I'm growing the coronavirus beard. By the way, we have such a good, clear picture and audio with you. Athena, who it's Mike and Athena show, she was on just a few minutes ago, but the audio and video got so bad we had to cut her off and bring in Papa Soob. By the way, it's Arsen Marsoobian, the author. You have how many books out?
This is my third book.
Third book, okay. And this one's called A Heartbeat Away. Tell us a little bit about that book.
Well, the book is A Heartbeat Away / Are You Ready? You know, people have to get ready for journeys. We get ready all our lives to make transitions from one place to the other. You know, and how many times have you yelled at your kids, "Are you ready yet?"
Yeah.
Ready to go someplace. Well, the greatest transition we're going to make in our life is from this earth to the next, wherever that might be. So the book is about what happens at death.
Okay.
And it's a subject that nobody really wants to talk about. And so we talk about that, and because there's a lot of things that happen when a person passes, from legal issues, to relationships, what happens to people who are left behind, and then, of course, what happens to the individual's own soul. So that's what the book really kind of covers. It covers all of those different themes.
There's a lot of complicated relationships in there, just that short statement you made.
Yes.
And people, I get what you're saying. People don't think this through, do they?
No, what happens is that we kind of get separated from our old friends and people, or maybe an old business partner we said something to, and then it caused a problem, and just never get around to saying, "Hey, we're sorry, let's get together and talk about that."
Never gets resolved. Yeah, I know a lot of those cases.
And a lot of times, we never have time to make those corrections, but we always have time to go to the memorial service.
Yeah.
So that's just something we get people to think about. I got a couple of stories in the book about how that, when I was writing, one of the stories is, when I was writing it, was a self-conviction that said, hey, who do you need to call and say hello to or get some issues solved? And so I thought about it, and I had a old high school friend.
Yeah.
And something happened 12, 13 years ago, and she got mad at me. She wouldn't talk to me.
Yeah.
And so I looked up an old phone number, and I gave her a call. She answered the phone. She lives in another state. And I called and talked to her, and I said, I just want to ask you for forgiveness.
Wow.
I said, I'm not really sure what I did, but whatever it was that I said or did, it's not worth ruining a 50-year relationship.
Yeah, wow.
So, would you forgive me? And she said, I do. I will. And we went on to then talk for the next hour.
Oh, good.
All all of the things that happened, in that 12 years with her family and her kids. And then I found out that she lost her only son in an automobile accident just a few months before I called her. And it was pretty tragic. But one of the other things she told me in this story was that he called her the morning that he had the accident and just said, "Hey, Mom, you want to go have breakfast?" And it was kind of unusual, but she said, "Yeah, give me a few minutes to get ready, and come, we'll go have some breakfast." So they did, and they talked and embraced when they got through with their conversation and their breakfast. He left. She went home. He died.
Oh, boy.
The same day, within just hours of that tragic event. And so, he was a guy in his late 40s, had 3 children. I knew him well. And so it was kind of tough to hear that. But it was such a good feeling for both of us to kind of get that out of our relationship settled. And there's just a lot of different stories like that in the book. There's a couple of others in my own, but I think I wanted to get people to stop and think.
Tie up some loose ends.
Yes. We never know when you're going to shake hands with death. And we always feel that we have time to make things right tomorrow. But we don't.
We don't have that unlimited time.
And this coronavirus consolidation or this quarantine, sometimes this is a great opportunity to think about those things. Slow your life down a little bit. It'd be a great time to be the call, because you never know. Especially the virus has really taught us that, life is pretty fragile.
Yes.
So that's it. That's one section of it. The other is the legal aspect of when somebody dies. I mean, it's tough enough to lose a loved one and go through that process. But then within a few days and weeks, you got to make some serious decisions. Where are you going to put the funeral? How many people are going to come? The announcements. Who you got to call? You got to call the bankers. You got to call the insurance people. You got to call your CPA. You got to let the legal world that we live in has to be notified. Bills have to be paid. Things have to get done. Certain people, try to think about who should we tell. What about relatives in a different state?
Yeah.
You have their numbers down. You know their phone numbers. You know their addresses. And I've created a little booklet. It's I call it. I think it's a personal planning guide. And we got that for like $10, but I throw it in if people buy a heartbeat away, are you ready?
Yeah.
And it's a complete guide where they can just fill in the blanks of the names of the people, what kind of memorial service they want to have, what kind of funeral they want to have, maybe who they want to sing or talk at their funeral, at the memorial service. So people that are left behind that are grieving don't have to make those decisions that they're already made. That you open the book and
Right.
you just go through it. This is what Dad wanted.
Well, you're really making us think with this book, because we don't think about that you go and I'm going to go first probably and leave my wife behind with all these things to figure out who to call, who to tell, how to put on, who even knows how to put on a funeral, how much to spend, how do you tell people? You got to write a notice to put it in the paper. You want it just right. There's a lot to think about. But you're saying let's think about it up front.
Yeah, there's that, and the insurance, and how much funding, whether you got investments or other businesses and things that who gets transitioned to that. Like yourself, you got a big business that you operate and run. Who runs that afterwards? Something happens to you.
Yeah, my cousin's wife looked for months for his life insurance policy. I guess life insurance company doesn't call you up, that you have to find that policy and call them. Just little things like that that you don't think of.
Yeah, and it's like, where are those documents?
Right.
That's the other thing. Where's the will? Where's the trust? Where's the life insurance policy? All of those different things. And there's a story I tell in the book, or I told the other day when I had a pre-launch of the book, and boy, we got it in just in time. It's February 28th, just before they shut everything down. I had a party at the Pardini's and invited people. We had about 35 people come, and I talked about the book like this, and we sold books and the pamphlets and the planning guide and so forth. But I told the story. It's called the John Wayne Problem.
Okay.
And the Bing Crosby Solution. And a lot of people didn't know that in the young audience, but I explained to them who those great actors were. Well, when John Wayne died, even though he had had cancer for some time and had a chance to get his affairs in order, he didn't. He had a little life insurance policy, but he had no will, he had no trust. It took years to settle his estate.
Oh, boy.
And it was all public. Everything he owned. The press, of course, the famous figure like that, they just ate it up. So every time there was a family fight between this cousin and that cousin and this business partner, wife, all the other arguments about who was going to get what and separate this fortune out. Of course, the IRS is there and they want their money within 90 days.
They want their part, yeah.
Yeah, within the 6 months they want their money. So they had a long problem, and it took years to settle John Wayne's estate. But now you got Bing Crosby. He had everything in a living trust. Succession trustees, everybody was listed. When he died, to this day, nobody knew how much he was worth when he died.
Nothing went public.
There was nothing public.
Huh.
Will was taken care of. The trust took care of everything. I guess his sons were trustees. They took over and ran the family fortune and then set up the trust for the succession, move it on. The life insurance was in there and it was taken care of. So it's very, very important to do that kind of legacy planning.
Right. So there's a lot of stuff to plan in advance, and how do you even start thinking about that? Well, one good way is to look up Heartbeat Away, Dr. Papa Soob's book, which, by the way, you get that at Amazon, is that right?
It's on Amazon. You can get it at Amazon.com. Either go, excuse me, with my name, or you can go to, hold on a minute. Don't go away.
You're welcome to cough now because we're appropriately separated
every time I cough, my kids want to send me to the doctor. You can get it at Amazon.com / the word author / ARSENSM, all in lowercase, and that will take you to a site that has all my books, has a bio about myself so people can read about who I am, whether they want to follow that or not. There's some pictures up there. So it's a good site to go to before you, or you can just go directly to Amazon, put in the name of the book, and of course it'll come up. It's a Heartbeat Away. Are you ready? Hold on a minute. I think I have one.
Now, I've been to Amazon, and I just typed Marsoobian, and you popped up. You could type the name of a book, it'll pop up. So you're pretty easy to find on. And we have it on the screen, by the way. You can't see it probably, but we have the book right up on the screen.
You see that?
Yeah. And we have the whole book cover right on the screen already, so we're in good shape.
Because I can't see what you have.
Oh, yeah. It's beautiful. We have a beautiful arrangement here. And, yeah, just go to Amazon, type Marsoobian. I've done it before. Or go to his author page, Amazon.com /author / Arsen S, like Arsen S Marsoobian, Arsen S M, and you'll find Papa Soob. We call him Papa Soob. I hope that's okay.
Yes.
All right, we're about out of time. Anything else you want us to know about this book?
Yeah, the other part of the book is that how to know where the soul is going.
Yeah, how do you
Well,
know?
we lay that out very clear. It's we talk about that Jesus is the way, the truth, and the life, and no one comes to the Father except through Him. And that we cite the Bible and scriptures and give a firm foundation for that. But people make up their own mind. There's nothing in there that says you have to do this. We lay out the facts, lay out the information, give people an opportunity to get right with God and to see what that is. We have scripture verses in the Bible to back up what we're talking about. But the soul, that Adrian Rogers, a great pastor from years ago, an author, said you never really start to live until you're no longer afraid to die. It's very, very true. That was that once you settle that issue of where your soul's going, nothing can scare you. Nothing should be, you have that firm confidence. So you can live your life doing more risk, doing more things, and enjoying it without having to worry about where you're going.
Well, it sounds like a pretty important piece to this whole puzzle of getting ready to heartbeat away from you know what. Tie up some loose ends, get your financial house in order. Don't leave a bunch of burdens for your people who are going to survive you, and get yourself straight with where your soul is going. So
You got it.
and it doesn't look like a really big, like 500-page book or anything, is it?
No, it's a relatively small book. It's easy to read. But it also has several pages in here where you can make notes on each section. And it was if you're going through here and all of a sudden you think about, wow, who should I put down?
Yeah.
Who should I contact? When you're reading and it comes to mind, you can stop, and I've got places for you just to write the notes on that and the things that you need to do.
I bet a lot of things pop in your head while you're reading that you'll want to write down right away.
Right.
Is there? Do you have your own website? Somebody could go look you up a little bit, or is that Amazon site the best for that?
The Amazon site is the best. I don't have a site where people can buy directly from that.
Okay.
But,
Well, congratulations on the book. Congratulations for surviving the virus, and congratulations for this call. It's just beautiful. It's like you're in the studio. It's that clear, and you did that through Facebook Video Messenger. Papa Soob, how old are you? 65, 68? And he could do it.
85.
85, okay, and you could do it. So anybody can do this communication. Don't get locked down in your house or you can't communicate with people and things like that. Get on Facebook, get on the Messenger, and communicate. Survive the virus.
I don't know if this is a competition with you, Mike, and I know we've talked about this before, but I've started a YouTube program called Papa Soob Says.
Nice.
I'm going to try to do it twice a week, just about a 5-10 minute little snippet about the books. The other book's called Don't Die, and a little bit about my philosophy. We're going to talk about the first section is, or first session is going to be what is a Soob? People talk about Papa Soob, but what in the world is a Soob?
Yeah, what is that?
And so if you got a minute, I'll run through that.
Sure, let's do that.
It used to be a nickname for my son when he was playing athletics. But then somebody called me Papa Soob, and that kind of stuck. But then when I got into the speaking and writing, I made it an acronym for my business, Soob Enterprises. So this is what it stands for.
All right.
Success on a daily basis. The Earl Nightingale said that the success is a predetermined, worthwhile goal. So if you're working towards a goal every day, that's a success.
All right.
The first O is an optimism as a philosophy of life.
Hmm.
And I've been in an Optimist International and local chapter here since 1964.
Wow.
And it has a great creed. And it starts out with promise yourself. Not anybody else. Promise yourself. And it has 14 things. But the best one, I like is the first one. It says, promise yourself to be so strong that nothing can disturb your peace of mind.
Wow.
And so now the second O is overachieve in every task, which really has served me well in government, corporate world, as an entrepreneur. And I learned that, Mike, in high school. I was running at Fresno High School. Coach told me that my race was 5 yards farther than the distance stated. So if I was running an 880, I had to run 885 yards before I stopped. And if I stopped before I got to the 885, he was on my tail. So I didn't run to the finish line. I ran through the finish line. And so he taught me overachieve, give a little bit more. And it didn't make any difference if I was first or last. I still had to put in that extra 5 yards and to get it done. The B is the belief in the God of the universe. And we've talked about that, and that's my faith. And I think everybody has to really examine what their belief is in what is the basic foundation by which they make major decisions in their lives. So that's what a Soob is.
Soob.
Success.
It worked out great. It's part of your name, and now it's your whole business motto.
Yes, we tried to build a business around all of those 4 things.
Now, Papa Soob there, tell me we're out of time, but I want to ask you this real quick. Tell me about the YouTube channel. Where can we find that?
YouTube /Arsen S Marsoobian.
Okay.
And that'll pop up. They can subscribe to it. And we're doing it Tuesdays and Thursdays at 1 p.m. Pacific time.
We're going to put an example up on the screen here, but I bet if you just go to YouTube and type Marsoobian, I bet he pops up. You know, there's not that many Marsoobians out there. There's more than you'd think, but I use it to find you all the time on Amazon, and now I'll find you on YouTube that way. And I saw you had a couple up there already. And what's the name of your show, your daily show or biweekly show?
Papa Soob Says.
Papa Soob Says. All right, very good. Papa Soob's full of good advice and good philosophy, takes a great philosophical approach to life. You see it in his books. Go get his books. And if you didn't write down the address where to find his books and you can't remember his name or whatever, call me here at Central Valley Talk, and I'll give you all the ways to find his book, to find his YouTube channel, etc. Papa Soob, thank you for coming.
Thanks for having me, Mike. Appreciate it. Good to see you.
We can't wait to have you back in the studio live. You're watching Mike and Athena live. Athena was here, but she's not here now because Papa Soob is better at this video conferencing than Athena is. So we bumped her and brought him in. But we'll see you next week on Mike and Athena live.